Hello everyone, we are from Group 10 and today we will present about the 12 Malaysian plan. And this is our group members, Muhammad Kuzaimi bin Majid, Isaac Samamadin, and Joshua James Fernandez.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. So I am Muhammad Kuzaimi bin Majid. So I'm gonna start the presentation today. So what is the 12th Malaysia Plan? The 12th Malaysia Plan, or in English we can call it as 12 MP, or in Malay known as Rancangan Malaysia ke-12 RMK 12, covering 2021 to 2025, is a big step for Malaysia's future. It's designed to shape the country's path by creating a better life for everyone and building a strong, inclusive and sustainable Malaysia. The plan includes programs to help those struggling with financial, especially the poorest household regardless of their background. Malaysia aims to follow the Shared Prosperity Vision 2030 to become a united and prosperous nation. Despite challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic affecting lives and businesses, the government has taken steps to help people to revive the economy. The 12 MP crucial in overcoming these challenges, focusing on growth, fairness and sustainability while also ensuring national security and unity. Next is objective of 12 Malaysia Plan. So what is objective? Objective is something that the country need to achieve to make sure that the plans are going successfully. So 12 Malaysian Plan, or we can call it 12 MP, aims to make Malaysia as a prosperous and fair country by the year 2030. It wants to achieve this by making sure that everyone, no matter their income, background or where they live, gets a fair share of the country's growth. So that means that all gonna get a same value. So these plans focuses on making the economy strong in a way that helps everyone and also keeps the country safe and secure. To do this, they have a few main ideas. For example, is making the economy better, keeping people safe, making sure everyone benefits, and taking care of the environment for the future. They also want to bring in new and smart ideas to change the way things are done for the better process. This will help the Malaysia grow in a good way and make sure that everyone gets a fair chance at a good life. So, what are the themes for 12 MP? Basically, there are 3 themes for 12 MP. What is it? We're gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain it on the next slide. Theme number 1 is regenerate the economy. Theme 1 in Malaysia aims to boost the economy by focusing on key industry like MSMEs. So what is MSMEs? M is micro, S is small, MES is medium enterprise. So by prioritizing their growth to strengthen the country's global position in supply chains, they plans to transition to tech-driven activities for higher income and sustainable growth over the next 5 years. So after the 2025. So efforts will revitalize various sectors. For example, in the sector services, manufacturing, agriculture, mining, and construction by enhancing productivity, expanding export, and improving financial system. The strategy emphasizes 8 industry. So, for example, like electronics, global services, and tourism. While supporting MSMEs and entrepreneurship, these involve leveraging technology skills, digitalization, and global market integration to enhance their contribution to the economy and create a strong business environment. Theme 2. Strengthen safety, well-being, and inclusiveness. Theme 2 in Malaysia centers on fortifying security, well-being, and inclusivity. It prioritizes national defense, crime prevention, and emergency readiness while improving armed forces welfare. Healthcare, affordable housing, and inclusive governance are key focuses, promoting an active lifestyle via sports and fostering unity amid diversity are also emphasized. Addressing poverty, reducing inequalities, and bridging development gaps between regions are crucial objectives. Measures involve transforming poverty eradication strategies, boosting underdeveloped states like Sabah and Sarawak, and closing rural-urban development disparities. Strengthening national security and healthcare is essential, and comprehensive poverty alleviation aims to uplift vulnerable groups, reducing income disparities. The plan targets underdeveloped areas by maximizing their potential, enhancing infrastructure, and narrowing income gaps, ultimately aiming to boost GDP per capita and household income in these regions. Theme number 3 is Boost Sustainability. Theme 3 in Malaysia concentrates on promoting green growth and enhancing sustainability in economic practices for the upcoming 5 years. This initiative seeks to address pressing issues like climate change, unsustainable consumption patterns, biodiversity loss, and inefficient water resources management. The strategy emphasizes the development of green growth, highlighting shared responsibilities to achieve national low-carbon objectives and ensuring equitable benefits from natural resources. It also involves comprehensive and sustainable management of the energy and water sectors. Aiming to balance supply and demand needs, the plan incorporates the adoption of a circular economy and integrated water resources management (IWRM). These measures are expected to substantially enhance efficiency, cost effectiveness, and innovation while relieving environment stress. By implementing effective policies under Theme 3, Malaysia aims to achieve more resilient and sustainable growth aligning with the objective set by the 2030 Agenda. So, next is what are the policy of 12th Malaysia Plan. First of all, we're gonna start to the number 1 is develop future talent. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused higher unemployment and changed how we live and how we work, like remote working and also all is online, right? To address this, the 12th Malaysia Plan aims to improve education and training, aligning them with the job market. Key strategies include promoting fair continuing education, boosting workforce participation, and upgrading education quality using new technologies. Improving the ecosystem of technical and vocational education and training (TVET) to develop future available talent will be introduced as a driver of change to better meet industry demands. As the main catalyst or the main, we can say the main catalyst policy in Malaysia's socio-economic development, a strong TVET ecosystem will enable the country to deal with lingering issues such as dependence on foreign workers as well as low CE and student outcomes. Emerging technologies such as virtual reality, augmented reality, and artificial intelligence will be utilized to complement practical activities and in existing teaching and learning, as well as research and development (R&D) in laboratories and workshops. The implementation of all these initiatives will result in flexible labor market, which in return contributes to improving the standard of living the people. Next is accelerate the adoption of technology and innovation. So it is a fundamental catalyst for growth in all sectors. The digitization process will be accelerated and the adoption of advanced technology, especially for industrial revolution 4R, technology will be encouraged to achieve a high technology-based economy. Through this measure, Malaysia will address the lack of digital infrastructure and services, non-integrated governance, the widening digital divide, low research, development, commercialization, and innovation, R&D and C&I capabilities and capabilities, as well as the slow adoption of technology. The 12th Malaysia Plan will accelerate the adoption of digital technology and advanced technology to create new opportunities. This will maximize the potential of the digital economy as well as achieve inclusive, responsible, and sustainable socio-economic growth. The talents and skills needed to drive the digital economy and 4IR will be increased while R&D and C&I will be intensified. Malaysia will also aggressively attract investment in the digital economy to become a leader in the region. Priority will be given to mainstreaming digitization to achieve inclusive development, accelerate R&D and C&I, and harness the potential of advanced technology. Alright, we continue. This policy catalyst outlines two drivers of change in accelerating the adoption of technology and innovation. This driver is increasing digital connectivity for inclusive and inclusive development, R&D, for commercialization, wealth generation, and economic growth. Successful implementation of this policy catalyst will ensure 100% 4G coverage in populated areas, wider 5G coverage, 100% of urban and rural households subscribe to the internet, gross R&D expenditure GERD to GDP of 2.5%, contribution of e-trade to GDP by 10.5%, and this contribution of the digital economy to GDP by 25.5%. The implementation of all these initiatives is expected to increase the country's competitiveness and resilience, thus making Malaysia more ready to achieve the status of high technology-based country.
The third policy of RMK 12 is improve and connectivity and transportation infrastructure. Transport and logistics play an important role in facilitating growth in all economic sectors. Emphasis will continue to be given to increasing the connectivity of the first and last routes, industrial competitiveness, and strengthening the governance of these sectors. Despite this, challenges in meeting the demand for seamless connectivity and viable transport and logistics infrastructure continue to hamper efforts to meet the growing demand. The provision of efficient and inclusive transport and logistics infrastructure will continue to receive attention by increasing the accessibility of public transport, enhancing trade facilitation, and strengthening institutions and regulatory frameworks. Efforts will be made to improve the connectivity of the first and last routes through an integrated rail and road network between airports, ports, industrial areas, and cities. Infrastructure capacity and port services will be enhanced, while a multimodal cargo movement approach with the same service operator will be adopted. In addition, transforming the logistic ecosystem for better efficiency has been identified as a driver of change for the logistic sector. Initiative will be taken to centralize the planning and development of logistics hubs, accelerate the adoption of technology, encourage mergers and acquisitions among industry players, establish a single border agency, and enact a regulatory framework for warehousing and the maritime economy. This effort will support and facilitate economic activities and contribute to the socio-economic development of the country. The fourth policy of RMK 12 is strengthen public services. This policy catalyst basically supports all teams and other policy catalysts to promote the well-being of the people and ensure the continuous socio-economic development in Malaysia. The public sector will continue to intensify digitization, make people-centric decisions, speed up project implementation, and coordinate and increase cooperation between the three levels of government. Given the gap in talent, governance, and project management ecosystem, the public sector will continue to be strengthened by emphasizing integrity and transparency. During the 12th Majan Plan, priority will be given to developing high-performing public services, improving the government's overall approach, and strengthening budget and project management. The transformation of public services through a whole government approach will be the driver of change in ensuring more efficient and effective delivery of public services, as well as making optimal use of existing resources. This approach is important to review and reorganize the structure and functions of ministries and agencies and ensure a clear separation of roles and responsibility between administrative members and civil servants. In addition, strengthening the selection mechanism for top management officers, improving the recruitment mechanism for management officers and professionals, and speeding up digitization will further improve the delivery of public service. The implementation of this policy catalyst will, among other things, improve Malaysia's achievement to be in the top 30 in the Corruption Perceptions Index and the top 9 for the Government Efficiency Sub-Index in the IMD World Competitiveness Yearbook, as well as ensure that 80% of the federal government's online services will be available from start to finish in the year 2025. So, next, what are the challenges and opportunity? During the next 5 years, the Malaysian economy will face several challenges and opportunities. The rate of economic recovery depends on the implementation of vaccination and adherence to standard operating procedures, known as SOP, as well as the effectiveness of measures implemented under the stimulus package. The increase in debt and fiscal deficit to finance the stimulus package will affect fiscal sustainability unless the move is accompanied by fiscal consolidation efforts in the medium term. Continued economic growth in the medium term will also depend on the ability to increase the rate of structural transformation as well as the transition to the production of higher value-added products and services in all economic sectors. This will require effective efforts to address skills and talent gaps, drive R&D and C&I, and increase readiness to master new technologies following 4IR. In the social aspect, increased health risk and demographic change pose several challenges. The increasing incidence of non-communicable diseases (NCD) and the need to manage the COVID-19 pandemic, including the implementation of the national COVID-19 immunization program, will put greater pressure on the health care system. Malaysia needs to make comprehensive preparation to face the challenges that exist due to the increase in the percentage of elderly people by year 2030. The country is faced with the challenge of dealing with poverty and inequality and the need to improve the living standards of B40 and M40 with a more targeted approach. Efforts to bridge the development gap between regions are also a challenge. Although The rapid rate of urbanization provides economic opportunities and new jobs. It presents a challenge to provide infrastructure as well as sufficient energy and water supply. Despite facing these challenges, Malaysia will take advantage of its strength and advantages to accelerate socio-economic development. Strong macroeconomic fundamentals, diversified economic structure and exports, low and stable inflation, and a financial sector with strong capital continue to be the main strength of the Malaysian economy. Malaysia's position that is close to the main economies of Asia allows it to be a hub for several industries. The government remains committed to ensuring that Malaysia continues to be an attractive investment destination by introducing policy and regulatory reforms as well as improving governance. The private sector will continue to be the main development partner for the government in line with the Malaysian corporate policy and will continue to play an important role in realizing the goals of vision of shared prosperity year 2030 and the 2030 agenda. The ecosystem that supports the participation of the private sector in development will continue to be improved, such as simplifying regulatory rules as well as increased engagement and consultation with the private sector in formulating policies. The delivery of public services will be strengthened to make it easier to do business.
So next I am going to talk about the targets for RMK 12. So what are the targets for RMK 12? In the 12 Malaysia plan, the global economy is expected to regain growth momentum following the recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. World trade is projected to increase by 5.3% annually, supported mainly by better trade performance from emerging markets and developing countries. Along with the global economic recovery, the Malaysian economy is expected to grow between 4.5% and 5.5% per year, with a higher gross national income per capita of 57,882,000 ringgit or 14,842 US dollar in 2025. Efforts to accelerate productivity improvement will continue under the 12th Malaysia Plan, contributing to higher labor productivity growth. Focus will also be given to accelerating readiness for the 4th Industrial Revolution, 4IR, creating an environment supportive of the digital economy, intensifying research and development, R&D, commercialization and innovation, as well as developing the necessary talent. Additionally, expectations of a better labor market condition will enable Malaysia to achieve full employment during the 12th Malaysia Plan period. Wage rates are also expected to increase, aligning with a greater emphasis on inclusive economic growth, ultimately contributing to higher household income. The well-being of the population is expected to further improve, supported by economic and social progress, as well as regional development inclusiveness. The selected targets for the 12th Malaysia Plan are as displayed in the next table. So this is the table. During RMK 11, this country has achieved 2.7% for GDP growth, 42,503 ringgit for GNI per capita, 1.1% for labor productivity growth, 37.2% for workers' compensation, 7,160 ringgit for average monthly household income, and 0.5% for index growth of the Malaysian people's well-being. So the target for RMK 12 is 4.5% to 5.5% in GDP growth, 57,882 ringgit for GNI per capita, 3.6% for labor productivity growth, 40% for workers' compensation, and 10,065 ringgit for average monthly household income, and 1.2% for index growth of the Malaysian people's well-being. So in conclusion, RMK 12 will focus on some of the strategic priorities that will transform Malaysia. It is a very important guide to Malaysia in addressing the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and the global economic uncertainty. RMK 12 is designed to generate sustainable economic recovery and provide better social protection for vulnerable communities. Over the next 5 years, the focus will be on achieving 3 identified themes: economic regeneration, strengthening security, well-being and inclusion, and promoting sustainability. The theme will be supported by policymakers for talent, technology, transport, infrastructure, and public services, in line with the objectives of prosperity, inclusion, and sustainability under the 2030 WCO and Agenda 2030.